Alright, welcome everyone. Do not adjust your televisions. You're right. This is the second stream of the weekend, the third of the year, and we're back for another game. Proxc versus Califerbop. This should be a very good game to see. And we're on a slightly slower game mode today, so this should be a really chill game. I'm a little bit under the weather, but that doesn't matter at all. I might need to mute my mic whilst I cough my absolute... Yeah. I'm going to try not to swear because I know that it screws the algorithm up when I upload this stuff to YouTube, so we need 10 minutes at least of no swear words at all. What up, nerds and nerdettes? Nerd people of the internet, welcome. We're on for tournament game number 3. Just a little bit of housekeeping first. Sonico, Rick Under, Flex, Harry M, Rick Owens NA, and Batman, thank you for the follows. I do appreciate you. Thank you very much. We're on for the third game of the tournament, guys. This is going to be good. Califer versus Proxc. It's a bit of a weird one. This could be a banana skin for either one of these players. One is a outpost main, one of is a main base player. So how they pick and who they pick in their teams is very important. Let me just... I'll keep the smooth music on for now, but we'll change it up as we go. I hope you guys are doing alright. Hopefully you're not getting too bored of this, but we are on for another very good game. So let me drop this out real quick. And I think we've decided that this is the map. It's kind of perfect. You couldn't really roll a better map for POC. There's horrific amounts of oil close to you, massive mix patches, a big enough area to build your main base up. Uranium is very close. And the only thing I don't see it having is a potentially strong or stronger side for an outpost. I mean, you'd argue maybe out here is your outpost. Hey, Mikes. How's it going, buddy? Second stream of the weekend. Is it? Are we official? Am I officially a streamer now? Does that make me a less than weekly? I've doubled, almost tripled the amount that I'm doing. So yeah, outpost areas for rockets and for endgame. I mean, it's really bare. It's really, really bare. You could potentially argue that out here, maybe with the amount of copper, you could squeeze a small rocket outpost. You'd need to be dragging lines a long way though, so 1.3, 1.1 mil, 1 mil. Yeah, here-ish. Maybe if you want to go out to the east. It's over. It's official. I'm just streaming now. This is my life. I prefer, if I had to flip a coin, I'd probably pick heading out to the east. That being said, I'm sure the moment the outposters do run out somewhere, it'll be to the west and they'll have seen something I haven't, but it just seems like there's a bit more compressed copper in this kind of area here than some of the smaller patches out here. I'm ready to be proven wrong, by the way, but we did see some mixed builds, mixed ore patch builds yesterday as well, although we were on a much faster game mode. So today we are on Piece of Cake. Piece of Cake will last, if played correctly and at speed with the right player base, we're looking at probably 2-hour game mode. 2 hours for us to really get to understand who is in the lead and who will potentially win the game. It's not a guaranteed win, but after the 2-hour mark, we're this should be POC. Awesome. So yeah, I hope you guys are doing well. Thanks for joining me again. This is the Smurfs rejoining. Oh god, are we at that level now where people have Smurf accounts? They don't want to be found out on their mains, so they have a secondary account. You're right, Abascotti. In many ways, it's not a true tournament because we're not running the same game over and over again with the same parameters. As far as I'm aware, this is something that all of the captains have agreed to. So we did do kind of a roll for who would be playing who, and then we rolled for which difficulty each map would be. I would argue that as a captain, you should realistically be able to play up and down from fast and furious, or fast and fun, all the way to the easiest game modes. So you should have it in your back pocket to play everything that we have to offer. And ultimately, if you want to become the master or win the Masters tournament, you should really be able to demonstrate a skill level up and down the difficulty level. But yes, in an ideal world, every single game should be set at the same difficulty. I'm almost certain that the final, semis and quarterfinals will not be the super quick game modes. I think that they're going to allow time for the game to evolve, for the game to actually open up and play, rather than having a mad dash for a rushed science build. So yeah, it's a difficult one. However, either way, both sides have to compete at that difficulty level. So yeah, it really doesn't make much of a difference unless you have a particular part of the game that you struggle at. So each difficulty level that we have effectively increases the mutagen strength, meaning that sending science is more efficient. Or as you go through the easier game modes, like I'm Too Young to Die, Have a Nice Day, Piece of Cake, and Easy, it will mitigate and minimize your science sending, allowing for a longer game. Today we're playing on Piece of Cake, which means that each piece of science that is sent is 50% effective, meaning the game will just be a little bit longer. I'm Too Young to Die, if it's a quick game in terms of if everybody plays well and the teams are relatively balanced, I'm Too Young to Die can take about 3 hours. You know, it can go, it is indeed. It's very much so, it's a reference to Doom. I'm Too Young to Die, if played well and both teams know what they're doing and nobody's messing about, 3 hours-ish, give or take, maybe 3.5. Have a Nice Day, I don't have a lot of experience. This is a new game mode for me. At 38%, it seems a little bit in between these two, so I'd argue probably 2.5 hours. Piece of Cake, about 2. You know, we're looking at, and when I say 2, it's not going to be like 2 hours and then the game is over, but we should realistically know who's going to win that game after 2 hours, which team is completely in the lead. Easy, 1 to 1.5. Normal, we saw yesterday, was just over the 1 hour mark. And then hard and fast and fun and fast, sorry, it really depends on who makes the first mistake. Hard and these two here, we used to have a nightmare difficulty as well. This is more about who makes the first mistake rather than who plays really, really well. Because the game could last 10 minutes. It could last 20 minutes. I've never seen a fast and fun game go more than about 20-30 minutes. It's about scramble, like absolute scrambling around, just trying to get as much stuff as you can in the early game. You're basically spamming red science at each other, and it's a really good way of learning the game because you don't play for that long, so you can play multiple fast and fun games like in a night and learn the game mode really quickly. So we already have teams being picked, and I will get some kind of more upbeat music on, but it's Sunday, you know, it's a chill day for me. Everyone's back to work tomorrow. I thought I'd just stick on some really cool, relaxing sounds whilst we get through the pick phase. You guys know this, you've been here before. Anybody that's new also will. I hope you understand, like, picking teams is one of the most important parts of this game mode. Each team will start with a captain. The South have Proxc, the North have Califerbop, and they have a player pool to pick from over here on this island of nerds. Here we go. There we go. Boom. There are the nerds. I've outlined them for you so that you don't need to guess. They're all in this circle, surrounded by arrows pointing them out. These are the nerds. And out of all of these nerds, we have different playstyles. Different people are good at different things. Different people that have different ways of achieving and reaching certain parts of the game. And all with different philosophies of how you play. So this isn't kind of like chess where there are certain openings and then there are certain mid games to certain end games. This is more about having a captain kind of craft from our player base the game that they want, and then implementing that game onto their side of the map. It's a really cool, I mean, for anybody that's new, this is like a really cool Factorio mod. And I'm not just saying that to try and get people in, but who you have on your team, what kind of map you're offered, and again, the map is always different. These ore patches are always in different locations and the different sizes, different orientation. The topology of the map, the topography of the map will change. So we have some lakes here today. So water features can play a massive hindrance in getting in your way, as well as they could be used defensively as well to block the biters from coming in. Yeah, it's this map's great, by the way. I can't rate this map higher enough for a piece of cake game, if I can get my words out. As we were talking about earlier on, the only thing I don't see is incredibly strong outpost area. Maybe hidden off here in the darkness somewhere, there might be somewhere that favors outposting, but I would argue maybe out here. You know, you can make up for lack of coal with lots of oil, and it does appear to me like near main base we do have a ton of oil, so you could shift some of that oil into solid fuel as we go. Main base is relatively healthy for it too. We're looking at like 0.5 mil, 1/4 mil. We're okay. We're okay. Hey, gaming guy, nice to have you with us, dude. Second stream of the weekend. We're on for game number 3. We're still in the pool stages of the tournament, so we're still figuring out who's going to make it through and who is going to be cut short from achieving master status. Do you know what? I kind of slightly agree with you there, Blitzy. It's not generous on coal, but you have some patches around that can offer you some hope. And hopefully by the time you get to that mid game, you've gotten all this oil out here. Definitely this stuff. I mean, Jesus. 800% yield, 500% yield, and just convert some of that to solid fuel if you are running out of fuel. But that's something definitely the captains are going to have to manage. It's not something that it will be easy for them. What I really like is within touching distance of the main base is nuclear fuel. You know, potentially uranium ammo. We'll have to wait and see. What are we expecting this game? Well, two things firstly. A slightly longer game than yesterday, but certainly not the longest game that we can see. So we'll get to a version of the end game that we didn't see yesterday, but I don't think we're going to see like multiple rockets and, you know, thousands and thousands of white signs being sent over. But I believe that both of these players have the capacity and the ability to get to an end game. And that's mostly dictated through the fact that we're on an easier difficulty. So what Proxc needs to do, and in fact here we go, what Proxc has already started to do, is because Proxc is a main base player, he likes to build up this main starting area to give his team lots of beginning items and starting items to flesh out the base. He's picked a load of outposters, and in fact I believe he's picked some of the strongest outposters in the game. Sticklord, Runeboggler and Carl, and I'm almost certain that he's saying to them, look, head out, look, see, like they're already looking now for a space on the map, head out, east or west, get me some outpost locations going on. I'll explain outposts down the line, obviously. If you're new to the game mode, outposting is a base that exists outside of the main base that has its own function. It will serve its own purpose later on. These are normally 3 to 5 people endeavors, and they're typically the strongest players in the map will go out and build an outpost. Proxc has picked some, and Zero Sun as well. Jesus, yeah, this team's looking strong already. So we have Carl, Runeboggler and Sticklord potentially with pipes as outposters, Proxc building main, Zero Sun as the threat farmer, and then mostly all that really Proxc needs now is people to fill in roles, people to come into main and help him build up, and potentially maybe a few extra people to threat farm. His team at the moment is looking very strong. However, I mean, look at this. Califerbop has clutched. Jimmy 50 is the main bait. He will build main up. He's fast. You can't really stop him as well. Enkling was yesterday's captain. So we already have 2 very strong presences for the main base. And I believe Q, Crack, Clutch and Califer can definitely outpost as a 3-person group. So yeah, we're looking at this building up really nicely so far. We can expect this to be not won or lost by the pick phase, but we can certainly get an understanding or an inclination is probably the word I'm looking for as to how the game will go, depending on who gets picked. And there's still so many really strong players here to pick from as well, all with their own playstyles, all with their own skill sets on offer. So as we saw yesterday, Blitzy's really good at running into the bugs and dying. Kidding, by the way. Outstanding as an outposter, can play main base. Cliff build, main base player all day long, can go to an outpost. Banana, very strong support player, can also go and play threat farm. Virus, threat farmer. 99 names, threat farmer. Tier marks and Walross and Just Bob, outposters for sure. There are so many good names here. Obviously, Kawhi Pertales is Ragnarok, an amazing outpost player. On the Smurf, it looks like, which is a bit rude, isn't it? So yeah, how you want to organize your team. And some of these players flex. Like when I play this game mode, I am mostly, majoritively speaking, a threat farmer. However, if you need me to outpost, I will go and do that. And if you need me to build main base, I do that too. So it's good to have one strong skill that you can like rely on and lean on. But you should always have, if you played enough of the game, and it's hard enough to learn one of these roles, let alone multiple. But if you have the time and you're able to and capable of, I certainly would say don't limit yourself to being one thing in this game. Be known for being really good. Like Runebogler is a really, really strong outposter. He's known for being a really strong outposter. That does not mean he cannot threat farm. That does not mean he cannot main base, build. But if I had to flip a coin and if I had to choose, I would grab that guy and say, hey mate, get some of your friends on my team, or tell me who you want me to pick for you, and I will send them onto our team, and send them over to your outpost, and we'll win. Let's go. 123, 123. Thank you for the follow, mate. Welcome. We are closing in, hopefully, on a great weekend of tournament games. I believe the next one is the 1st of March. Next Saturday, I believe, is the next game after this. And then we've got a few Friday, Saturday, Sunday games. So for now, it's going to be Saturday, Sunday. And then as the tournament rolls on, when we start eliminating the captains, we will start to see some Friday games kick in as well, which I think is kind of cool. There's not a lot going on Friday for us, Friday night. So, just you wait. Just you wait. I went through the archives. I believe it was German music, Polish disco, and techno, and I think I found a playlist for all three of those. But to start with, I've just stuck on some really chilled, especially because the pick phase it's hard to get hyped up for the pick phase, right? All we're doing right now is watching some people organize the chessboard. They're just setting up their pieces. Election day. Oh, dude. Wait, like countrywide elections, or is this like local elections for like councils and local government and stuff? I can't say that that's been covered too heavily here, although I do know that there's movement going on. But I hope you guys got out and voted. That is your free democratic right to go out and do that. I don't talk about politics too much here, but if you are out there and you're of voting age, I hope that you voted. It's a right that's been afforded to you, and that hopefully doesn't have any influence, or hasn't been influenced. It's your choice. What you think will work is how you vote, and hopefully if everybody thinks the same way that you do, then your vote will come true. But we're certainly not here to talk about politics, guys. It's gotten a bit spicy before, and I know that stuff like that, unfortunately, if it gets talked about too heavily or in a certain way, we'll get algorithms, and then YouTube will not enjoy the Bite Battles content that we bring to you. So I don't want to sanitize this environment. Everyone obviously is entitled to their opinion and welcome to share it with us, but we are more here to talk about the spiciness of the game, the noodles that I will consume during said game, and I've got a pot noodle ready to go, and yeah, and hopefully just enjoy a really good afternoon, evening of gaming. Should be a good one. So I'm a big fan of spicy noodles, dude. Like, I don't know about you guys. I'm not talking about the kind of spice that will blow your face off and make it really uncomfortable to eat, but just, I don't know what it is. It's just a weird noodles with like a little bit of meat, a little bit of chicken, a little bit of beef, and just a really good level of spice. Out of 10, I'm talking like a 7. You know, if I'm not feeling it, a 5 or a 6. So there's some heat there, but it's not spicy spice. But like any more than a 7, and I just can't. I just don't enjoy it. My face, it genuinely hurts me. It hurts my lips. It hurts my face. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Like there's artificial spice that just isn't enjoyable at all. Like I don't know how people can eat stuff that genuinely it's just chemical spice, you know. It's got to come from an actual food source. It's got to come from a plant. You know, if a chili pepper is hot, I'll eat it. But if it's like a chemically induced spice, like one of those hot sauces, nah dude, I'm not into that. I'm absolutely not into that. That's not real. Fake news. We don't like fake spice here. We're all about the real spice. And yeah. Teams are fleshing themselves out. There's not a huge amount I can really say. I'm trying to, I hope you guys can appreciate it, I'm trying to just fill the time. At the moment, pick phases are, for me, going on a little bit too long. In my mind, the game starts at 4 o'clock my time, 5 o'clock Central European time. And interpret that to, you know, whatever time zone you're in your current part of the world. We should really be starting the game about 10 minutes past or quarter past. I appreciate these games have a lot of weight on them, and that people are really trying to get the W, but it doesn't take 20 to 30 minutes to pick a team. It does not. And that's coming from the best, also the most humble, but also the most legendary captain of the game, which is me, Ghosty. Welcome. And the reason why it doesn't take that long is because you can almost separate the player base. And beyond that, there is meta games here. Like if I'm South, who do North want, and who can I deny them? You know, North gets Blitzy, right? Maybe you might want to deny Blitzy North, because North would really benefit from Blitzy, so you pick Blitzy instead, denying them a pick that they really would need. And instead of having Blitzy, they get Blitzy 1.0 or 1.2 that isn't as good as Blitzy 1.0. So it's an interesting one, but it shouldn't take that long. That being said, though, we should be on for a really healthy game here. Both teams should roughly hit around about 20 players either side, if most of these players are pickable, and 40 people in a game of Factorio playing against each other 20 on 20 on a Sunday afternoon is actually not bad, right? I mean, how many players are there in an Apex lobby, right? 100, I think. And then Modern Warfare, like Call of Duty, is like 100 players as well. Now, considering this isn't either of those games, to organise 40 people to do one thing like on a Sunday afternoon in a competitive environment, that's kind of special. You don't see that often. And we've had larger teams than that in the past as well. So I think the largest amount we had was when we played the speedrunners. We had some speedrunners challenge us. We had 7 people on one side, 67 on the other. So we're closing in on like 70 plus players in a game. And the largest team versus team game we had was 35 versus 36. Again, 70 people all in the same game. Any of you guys that have played normal Factorial will know, if you play vanilla, it's probably going to be like you and 2 of your friends, you know, or 3 other people, you know what I mean? Like, so you build a base and you get to like a rocket, and then you send the rocket and you fight the bugs, and that's fun and everything. And it could take multiple playthroughs, right? You might need to log in multiple times in order to get yourself to the end game. And here, you'll play with about 20 people, and we're going to see an end game with rockets in about 2 hours. So this is fast Factorio, and it's organised obviously because we're doing a tournament, but just the games that you can play during the week, the normal games that you can just log in and jump into, great fun to learn this very niche game mode that we're currently about to see kick off. So the teams are building. There's not a huge amount I can say about anything here specifically. We've covered the map. We'll have to wait and see where our teams decide to play. As you can see at the moment, lots of these player View cams are bouncing around the map looking for a spot. I'm almost certain that we're looking at an eastern focus for outposts. There's nothing out here that screams to me, and I might be wrong, but there's nothing out here that screams to me like this is the spot to pick. For late game, you could potentially land an outpost out here and build lasers. You could land an outpost out here and do something different. But to win the game, you need to get to the end game to build rockets. And for that, you need a base outside of the main base. If I go back to my drawing tools real quick, let me just wipe the board. And I'll quickly, just for any of you guys that don't know, and I know that most of you do, but for any of you that don't know, we have like a main base. If you're in the south, for instance, we have like a main base that will exist in this area here. And that will get you from the beginning of the game to the middle of the game. Have all of your productions. You know, let's change that. Let's turn that into a rectangle real quick. So in this area, for instance, we're going to have like the main base being built up. We then need a separate base off to the side that will build all of the late game elements. That is away from, you know, kind of this area and in a large enough space to operate multiple columns of item producing content. Those columns are sometimes organized in different ways, and they're operated in different ways and fed different materials, but what they should do is spit out. They do need to figure a way of speeding this up, mate. The only gripe I have about doing these tournaments is I have to fill about an hour's worth of talking before the game starts. Again, I don't mind it, but picking should really not take an hour. It should not take that long. The first game of the tournament, we're looking at least 50 minutes. And even then, we were at like 10 players on either side. Like, it's, you guys know each other. You know who does what. So I agree, RJD. I really do. This can be expedited egregiously. And even if you just put a timer on it, let's put a 30-second clock. You have 30 seconds to pick from this list of players, you know. Put them in a rank order. I know. Don't worry, dude. We will get going as things will speed up as it goes. But I would have a list. I would have them ranked. Also, when you join, you can also put your preference in the game as well. So you can say whether you're going to be outposting or main base playing. And I would just pick the very top. Pick the best. All of these, honestly, guys, all of these suggestions are very, very relevant. And I certainly would try and ask for some of them to happen, because it's not what we do. Dude, I can get a team pick pretty quick. Again, a lot of you won't have seen this, so it's just me talking, right? And you won't have actually seen and witnessed the dominance that I had on this server. And again, remember, guys, if you're really, really good at something, you need to stay humble, right? There's no point in being a big a big dick, that you need to make sure that you keep yourself grounded, stay humble. But I'd get into a server, I'd have 5 people at most I'd identify, right? So I want Rune Boggler, I want Pipes, Walross, Zero Sun, and Sticklord, right? Grab them. Everybody else is really just window dressing, right? They have a function, they have a purpose in my team, and I'll treat them with respect and with dignity, but those 5 people I picked are going to be the spine of what my team does. Everybody else is just supporting that spine. So I might pick somebody like, for instance, let's say Morgan, and I might say to him, hey bud, I know that you like to outpost, I just need you to build power this game. All I need from you is to just build power, You're just that guy. And I'll give you a team of people like Yay and Kwebibi, but you 3 together will go off and do that for me. And we'll win, by the way, if you do that for us, for the team. So, yeah. We're a slave to the current process. However, that does not mean that the process cannot change. So I'm hoping that we can revise this. And it's the only element of this game that isn't streamlined. We've had a massive UI update, as you can see here. We have this lovely little tooltip bar at the top here. We have like stat readouts and all that jazz. Like, we've really gone the full distance to try and give our players and our viewers the best experience. The only thing that's lacking at the moment is how long have we been streaming now? We've been streaming for 35 minutes and we have 26 players been picked. So we're not averaging a minute a pick. And that's what really slows the game down. That's what will stop. If somebody logs in now and wants to play, they land on this island and they wait for half an hour, and that's just not good enough. It's not good enough. That's the only gripe I have, by the way. I'm not slagging anybody off. I'm just saying that is literally the only thing I would change. Is tell the captains to hurry up. Have like a lightning bolt that you can cast from your hotbar to like zap them. So yeah. Yeah, we're getting there. We are getting there. And you know what? At the end of the day, we will end up with some very healthy teams that should stay for the whole game. So in that respect, we're setting ourselves up for a longer game. But what I could do as well, what I may do next time is, I might not stream this part of the game, because I don't think anybody watches it back. When I stick the stuff up on YouTube, you get like analytics and stuff, and I think most people skip this bit. So I may turn my stream on like near the end of the pick phase. I don't know, because obviously there's a decent amount of people here, but you're certainly not here for this. This isn't like enthralling. This isn't like the most engaging gameplay anybody's ever witnessed. Like, oh my god, they picked Blitzy. Oh wow, what an amazing. So yeah, we'll revise this. I'll grab 2 of my brain cells, mash them together, and come up with something in the background. What I might do is I might stream this and host something else. Yeah, do you know what I mean? And I don't at all hold any grudges to that, because I wouldn't watch the pick phase. I just want to start the game. So maybe we play like marbles on stream or something. I don't know. Do you guys know that game? Or I'll pull up another window and we'll watch something else. You know, we'll find something else to do to keep it fun. That's actually a really good point. Because what I can do, right? What I can do is I can have our picks. So if you bear with me on this one real quick, I'll just bring up my screen, my drawing tools, right? On a second monitor, I can have the game on, right? And I can build. Oh, I don't need that. 1 second. Let's wipe that. I could play some Factorio myself, and in this little corner area here, I can just put the picks and bands. Do you know what I mean? So north, south, write the names in, and then when they're ready to play, I come out of my Factorio game, we load into this, and we start. And at least then I'll be doing something for half an hour whilst we wait. And then you can still see the picks and bans happen, but they're just on screen, basically. And then as I play the game, we can talk. Do you know what? That's actually a really good idea. I might do that instead. You can. I have 2 PCs, so all I'd need to do is buy another copy of Factorio and have a second account. I don't like smurfing. I wouldn't use it to smurf, but yeah. It's all good. It's all good in the hood. Okay, 17 on 17. There aren't many players left to be picked. What I would say, guys, is this is a perfect opportunity to go and get a drink, go and have a stretch, hydrate yourself. The game will be quick. It will be a good game. Definitely will be a good game to watch. So if there's anything you need to do right now, go and do it. I will not take it personally. If all of a sudden everybody leaves to go off and do some chores, the game will be up and running very, very soon. We're at the end of the pick phase right now, so I'm going to go and grab a quick snack. I'll meet you back here in a couple of minutes' time. Oh yeah, what's on now? Is it Blast? Oh dude, Paravision, if they get knocked out, I'm going to be so upset. Hang on. I'm a massive Dota fan, by the way. Huge Dota fan. Chimera versus Team Spirit. Spirit win that all day long. What is the tournament? Is it just ESL? It is, isn't it? It's ESL. Or is it the Dota? Dream League. And then it's EPL. Dude, who's in Dream League? Chimera's at the top? What? Who's in Chimera? They only have a 4-player roster. TA2000, Lorinov, 1J, and Panto. And they're at the top of what? Sorry, I'm just. This boggles me. Paravision should be at the top. Falcons, Bet Boom team should be somewhere near the top. Holy crap, they've lost the game already. Tundra are terrible at the moment. Oh wow, this tournament has not gone the way I thought it would. Okay, right, we're not here for Dota, but another game I can claim to be very legendary at. Not that I'm not a legend, I'm much higher ranked than that, but yeah, you never know. Oh, do you know, I might play some Dota whilst we wait for the pick and ban phase. It's been 40 minutes. I can knock a game of Dota out in 40 easily. So as we're about to start the game, guys, I'm going to go grab a quick snack. The teams are up, as you can see on the left-hand side here. We will start very, very soon. If you need to go and do something, I suggest do it now. So I'll be back in a minute with a snack. And whilst I do that, I will, you're right, Blitzy, I'll get predictions up. Time to win some more pot noodles, I guess. Here we go. Stream manager. Predictions. It was pretty close yesterday. I'll give you 30 minutes on that. Get them in. Remember, obviously, you're only gambling with fake currency, right? So you're just betting, you know, your current worth, the pot noodle worth. Yeah, I'm gonna grab a snack. I'll be back in a second. Oh damn, do I love a sandwich. I'm broke after last game. Somebody won 10,000 pot noodles last game. At the moment, both teams are looking relatively close in terms of skill. If I had one pot noodle to bet, who would I pick? It'd probably be South. If I wanted to make my money back, I'd bet North. But if I'm going to be honest, the safe bet is with the South. Carl, Claw, Gaming Guy, one more, King of Gugu, Outstanding People. This is a very safe team. I know what they do. In fact, you know what? The South are, yeah, set for me. The North, however, who are we looking at? I mean, I know what they're going to do as well. Like, I just think pound for pound, the South is just slightly ahead in that respect. Remember, guys, as well, and I'll put a link in chat for everybody that didn't know about this already. If you take a look at this link, you'll be able to see all of the players in the current game, their MMR, their play style, by how much science they produce, etc. It's a really cool little stats website that you can use to kind of have a look at the breakdown of the game. This is what the players will be using to pick their teams. I'm just saying that they're being incredibly fucking slow at picking their teams, and it is eye-wateringly slow at this point. I appreciate that not everybody's first language is... Oh, mate, I'm sure somebody's working on that. We're about to start. Thank Christ for that. And as the AI-generated numbers tick down, finally, after 40... It's only been 45 minutes, guys. Don't worry about it, you know. Thanks for sticking around. The game has begun, and we are on to a banger. Second game of the weekend, third of the tournament. It's Proxc versus Califerbop. Already we have a couple of players moving out to the east on the north. Meanwhile, I have a couple of people from the south moving out to the west. Claw and King of Gugu. I wonder if these are our threat farmers with Zero Sun. You should be able to get right into the game, RJD. I'm 90% sure you should be able to get in. Or are you trying to join as in connect? Yeah, we need to figure this out because it's not user friendly. Like our picking phase should not be this bad. It's not something that we encounter that often because these kind of tournaments are rare for us. We host about 3 of them a year. But again, it's worth streamlining. If you wanted to have, like, let's say for instance, some massive content creator wanted to get involved in our game, I don't think it would serve their community well. And again, when I say massive, I mean somebody like, you know, with hundreds of thousands of followers and subscribers or whatever. Like, if it took them 45 minutes to get into a game, they'd lose interest. It needs to be faster than this. It has to be. You know, we're talking about the kind of time it takes for like grandmasters to make moves in chess. You know, on the slowest version of a chess game where it takes them 30 minutes to make a move. That's how slow we're moving at the moment. We're glacial levels of slow. So that needs to pick itself up. However, the game is on. We have a game. It's here right now. It's in front of us. So let's figure out what the hell's going on because already we see some changes and differences in opinion in terms of who's prioritizing what. Soldier is up here with Enkling, who are usually enemies. Well, I say enemies, rivals when it comes to captaining the game. These guys are normally against each other, so watching them outpost is actually kind of fun. I'm sure something will happen over here in terms of outposts. Their contemporaries down to the south are Claw and Zero Sun with the King of Gugu, who I'm sure will be creating some kind of like defensive outpost, threat farming maybe. As you all know, we start with no automation. This game is all about automating your base. You need to feed your stone furnaces and your burner mining drills with some coal, and if you can do that, you'll produce plates, and then those plates you can make handcraft items with, such as your standard issue yellow belts, yellow inserters. We'll see a bit of power going down as well, and also we'll see some science buildings kicking in too. So as it stands right now, both teams are in the same position. They just need to organize their thoughts in such a way where, yeah, for instance here, the south are now aiming to slam power down here, and this should be the main area for power, whereas the north could potentially, if they did so choose to, stick it down here. The great thing about this game mode, is the map is always different. The map will always change, and so the way that you build your base will always be different. No two bases are the same, no two maps are the same, and you will always have a unique environment in order to create your base. So a couple of little clusters of players out here now. Craven and Kajito are moving out to this side. Banana is moving out to the east as well with Just Bob. A couple of mixed patch enjoys here. I wonder if this will yield any results, yield any kind of special plays that will come into play down the line. As we can see now, some tech is being reviewed. Let's check out our science tab. At the beginning of the game, we're limited to some very early game science, but down the line, this can deviate. As you guys know, the tech tree is enormous. We don't need all of this stuff, but we'll need some of it. And there is a perfect line down the tech tree in order to get what you need to win the game. So to begin the game, both teams are going for the automation research, which is obviously much needed. We're going for mining drills, logi, fast insert steel, green science, military for the north. Meanwhile, the south are just going for automation, electric drills, and mining and logi. It's not. What is this music? Hang on, sorry. What the hell have I stuck on? No, absolutely not. That's no. We're not. What is this playlist? I put this together last night. Is any of this good? Hang on, sorry. I think I've screwed up my music here. Give me a sec. I was really behind this last night. I was listening to this thinking it was a banger, and it's not. It's terrible. Alright, I'll let it run. I'm going to let it run, and we'll see if it turns into anything good, but I'm sorry about the music. I thought this would be an absolute classic. I have a backup playlist as well. I have multiple backup playlists, but I was really key on this one last night, so I'm hoping it evolves into something better than what I'm currently listening to, because this is not great. So, blueprints are not in this game. I know in Factorio you can have a book of blueprints that you just load in. In this game mode, you have to kind of create everything from scratch. So what these guys on the south are doing at the moment is they are outlining their, for instance, this C stands for copper. So this smelting stack will have copper involved, I for iron, S for steel, and there'll be another ST for stone down the line. But you do not get to import a huge book of blueprints. There are some standard issue builds, like this is very standard for power. Any of you guys that have played Factorio before will know. You'll have seen this before. You know, a boiler that's connected to a water pump with 2 steam engines will create some power for your base. If you want more of them, you'll need more boilers, you'll need more steam engines. But for now, at the beginning of the game, you don't need a ton of power, but you need them cranking out some steam, basically. Down the line, however, when we get to the late game, we are going to see some horrendous blueprints, and they will need to be constructed at the beginning of the game, ready to use near the end. So it's a really interesting take on how the game should be played, because you can achieve the end game in multiple different ways, and people swear by the efficiency and effectiveness of certain builds, which I really enjoy watching. Like there are about 5 or 6 different takes on end game builds that we will see different versions of today in today's game. So yeah, off to a start already. The south are building their smelting. They believe that this amount of smelting is enough to get their game off the ground. So what I would be doing as the captain from down south is just saying, look guys, you see the blueprints, right? I need the belts, I need the stone furnaces, and I need you to create the inserters. Head over to our, our little burner city here of burner miner drills and stone furnaces. Please grab the plates out of here once they're made and make those items that we're missing. This is why the pick phase should not take that long. And again, I'm not gonna hammer this point home, but there should be a spine of your team. The spine of your team should consist of 5 to 6 players who you know are incredible. Oh no. The first death of the game has been achieved. Remember to press F in chat, guys. Oh damn, he was so young. There will be more. There will be many, many more. So yeah, the spine of your team should be about 5 different players, right? Everybody else is helping them. Everybody else. So my spine would be 2 main base players and an outposter, right? 2 main base players and an outposter. If you have people that want to kind of go off and become satellite, bases, that's fine. But I would say at the beginning of the game, if you're here, if you're any of these players, right, help build this. Because this will win us the game, right? The longer this stays up and serves its purpose, the closer we are to moving into the mid game, to the late game, and then winning the game. The rest of the spine of my team will move out to an outpost location of their choice. For instance, Just Bob and Morgan have picked-ish this area to build in. Pipes is headed over here to the west. Let them do their thing, right? They have their own stack of people they want to play with. If they need extra bodies, they will ask for them. But for now, for the beginning of the game, they're going to head out and do their thing. We need to build this. And it's a good way of motivating your new players, because it's clear as day what they need to do. I need you to build belts like this. I need you to build furnaces like this. We need to power it up. If you don't want to build the smelting stack, build power for me, dude. Let's get some coal in here. Let's make this work for us. Because all of this mining that will need to take place in order to fuel all of this smelting, we're going to need all of this power. So weaponizing your new players, coaxing and coaching the lower MMR, the newer players in your team, very, very important. We can see here now on the south as well, the north, sorry, a science flower. You know, buildings that are hand-fed and semi-automated, feeding into a couple of labs that are hopefully ticking their research in very comfortably. And here we go. Yeah, we can already see that the north have already kind of researched fastener status and steel, and they're moving on to green science and military. So just really nicely ticking a box that needs to be ticked. Smelting will be going down for the north to the east. So a definite change in direction there. I wonder why they prioritized that. This will mean that they're mostly paving over, down the line, the majority of this mix patch. Whereas the south are keeping this mix patch on the cards to be used. How well it is being used and what it can be used for is a different issue entirely. But it's there, it's an option. I don't really have a huge amount to say about that. I mean, would I keep it up? Yes, I'd keep it as an option. And what are you missing out by building here to the east, to the west? Sorry. There's so much open space. Like it's kind of a no-brainer unless you have ambitions for something huge to go down here. I don't know why you wouldn't use this space, but we'll see. We will see. And a bit of sushi. Oh, you love a bit of sushi smelting. Holy. So we can see now that the initial smelting stack has gone down and automation has begun. We're going to need to start producing basic items to help build our base up for us. We don't want to be handcrafting too much, and it's here that will be done. Sorry guys, I'm just coughing my ass off. I'm sorry. I didn't want to cough into my mic, so every now and again, if I do get that, I need to just turn my mic off real quick. One of the planets forces you to sushi? Absolutely not. I refuse. Seriously, they make you sushi. It's kind of rude of them, isn't it? Although I understand. I haven't even touched the DLC yet. I need to. I'd love to actually have like a DLC playthrough. And I've got the time. I've got the time to do it. Well, two things I need to do first, right? Two things I need to do. Number one is I need to test out my mix patch filtration system. I think I've designed a relatively decent filtration system for mix patch that I need to test out. And I need to test it out on multiple different mix patches to see if there's one particular orientation that doesn't work with it. And secondly, I just need to stream a bit more, I think. I know you guys tune in for this, and I appreciate that for sure. Many of you are stream sniping right now, and that's fine. But for the few of you that come in, to watch, I do massively appreciate that. And there are other games I'd like to stream and play, as well as stream myself playing this too. 3 of 4 planets in the DLC. So you got 175 hours. Holy shit, dude. Still so much to do. I mean, would it... Do you know what? I'm going to stream it anyway. Fuck it, why not? Like, it'll be a nightmare. Like, I've done Space Age before. Pianodon, Space Age, Crastorio, Bob's Angels, the underground scenario where you dig a hole and you can cave in your... you have almost 5,000 hours in the game. Oh my god. Diggy's fun, dude. I really enjoy Diggy. I'm not gonna lie, like I played with a German guy and all we did was just try not to cave our base in. Great fun, great scenario. The only one I haven't done is the water-based scenario, where you have like limited land to build on. And I think the first, C block, that's correct. Yeah, C block. That's one of the only scenarios I haven't done yet. Oh mate, I miss playing this game. I've not played this game in such a long time. For any of you guys new that are tuning in, I've been very ill for like, I want to say like 6 months. Seriously ill as well. So I'm on the mend. I'm now recovering from that illness, but I have time off work, and I really need to like find the love of playing video games again. I've always had it. I love, you know, playing games, but I'm just like kind of exhausted at the moment. Even now, streaming right now, I am physically just, it's like I've run a marathon. I don't know why. Body's just repairing itself, I guess, but I am absolutely shattered. So I need to find the joy in gaming again, and I will, like I absolutely will. But I think the first thing I need to do is come back to play some biter battles. This is where like years and years ago when I first started playing this game mode during lockdown, I found this during COVID and loved it. It was amazing. You could play 2 or 3 games a night, have different play styles with, you know, different players, and oh damn, power's not cutting it at all. Oh, it's getting there, I guess. It should build itself up. This is not connected. No, dude, power sucks. What's going on here? Ah, there we go. Nice. We're just through. We're not putting enough coal through. I was just wondering why the power was just, for a base this size, this amount of power should really be enough. But yeah, I need to find the joy of playing some games again, and that will start. Well, it's already begun. It started by streaming again. You guys will know I used to stream every week, and when I got ill, I just stopped for the right reasons. I wasn't fit to stream. I wasn't in a good shape. I was basically bedbound, and I wasn't really able to move much. So I'll get back to this. Stream a bit more. Play this game. I'm gonna have to play the DLC. I'm gonna have to. I might stream that as well. Oh, it's gonna be torture. Sorry, just coughing my ass off again. Oh god, I hope my throat holds out for this game. It was going yesterday. Okay, Space Dog's out on the edges. Morgan's out on the edges too. A couple of bugs moving in on the outpost out here. Surely Claw and Outstanding have seen this. There we go, dealt with that. For any of you guys new that don't know, you don't just get to build a base. This isn't a sandbox environment. Both teams will have bugs, aggress upon their bases over the course of the game, and cause problems. Stuff like this is a big deal. Space Age is a much longer game. Double the time. Oh damn, dude. Double the time? I think my playthrough would be more of a casual one, for sure. I certainly don't want to try and speed my way through it, something like that. Like, I think what I'd probably do is log in, have some goals. So like stream and say like, today my goal is to not die. Or today my goal is to get to a certain level of technology. Like, unfortunately, like with me and my gaming style, I can like session a game for too long. And the problem with me, and you guys will know this too, or some of you will recognize this trait, is that I can lose hours and hours and hours playing a video game, especially one as immersive as this. It's, you know, there's so much to do. You can never finish your job. There's always another thing that you need to do. So once I lock in and I start playing, that's kind of it for me. I can lose like 10 hours and then boom, I have a slightly better base, but I've lost most of the day to playing. 3.6k science production. Fuck no. 100k SPM. Fuck that, dude. Holy shit. I'll tell you what we'll do. It won't be whilst the tournament is on, so for the next couple of weeks, my goal is to return back to kind of, I don't even want to use the word full strength, because I'm like 50% at the moment. If I can get my body to 75% health, I will get back to streaming. I'll stream during the week, and one of those streams will be Bite Battles. I want to play in the game, I need to relearn the meta, and one of those will be, yeah, the DLC. Why not? I've put it off for so long. I've even avoided spoilers. Like, I haven't watched any content on YouTube about the DLC. I didn't want to spoil any of it for myself. I always planned on coming back and actually kind of experiencing it for myself. So, yeah, now is probably the best time to do that. The South, pulling everything back to the game at hand, obviously, you guys are here to watch a really good game. The South are aiming to get their science building up early on. They have a load of red and green science producers ready to go, which is the first 2 levels of science. Meanwhile, the North have got their power block up and running now. They're not into red power anymore. They're building up their mall, and they have the beginnings of green. I'm sure red will follow. It seems to me like the South are, in main base terms, ahead. Purely just because of the scale that the South have managed to achieve in the same time frame, right? They're now producing red and green at a really large scale. They're able to fund it and fuel all of this too, so all these buildings are on and working. It's an interesting one, Abascotti, because when you get into the easier game modes, throwing science becomes more of a burden than it becomes a useful playstyle. I believe there's a place for it. I do. I would hope that somebody out here on a small outpost of a 1 or 2 player outpost is gearing up to send some science up to the north or the south. However, what many players would argue is that for the first 4 levels, the first 4 tiers of science, you just want to research with. So effectively, you want your red and your green to get you off the ground, and then you want your purple, you want your military, and your blue science, your chemical science, to push you into the end game, push you out of the mid game into the end game. Sending anything that you make in that sense would only really hurt you, but there is a room for that playstyle. I don't think Piece of Cake might be a little bit too easy, but you could get away with some green spam, because even if you just force the bugs to become like 10% strong, 15% strong, you're just messing with the north, right? You shouldn't be in a boxing ring and not throw punches, and being in a sandbox game like this and not forcing your enemy to adapt to you, I think is a weakness. The difference in the game modes are based off of the difficulty level. So at the moment we're playing on a difficulty level called Piece of Cake. This means that when you throw science, each science level has like an effectiveness, and on Piece of Cake it halves the effectiveness of the send of the science, meaning that we need to see late game science, stronger science effectively to evolve the bugs. And last game we saw everybody basically run up to purple, so we went through red spam, green spam, some military spam, no blue spam, and then we won the game off the back of production science being thrown. I believe today we will see rocket silos, we will see white science, and that will be the most efficient way of getting your team to a win. The South have 22 players, the North have 21. They have the bodies that to make this happen. So this won't take a while. This will be, I think, hopefully, if everything aligns correctly and all the players do their bit, we should be looking at a rocket very early on. Obviously, for any of you that don't know, I'll just go over this one more time. The aim of the game is to make sure that your rocket silo that you're given at the beginning of the game, in the middle of your base, stays alive. So, everything else can die. The bugs can kill everything else. These guys up here, there are not many of them at the moment. Look at them. They're not doing anything. They're lazy bugs. They're very weak at the moment, having only evolved 3%. But later on in the game, there'll be thousands of these guys running at your base, and you need to stop them from killing your rocket silo. Coincidentally, you're given a rocket silo at the beginning of the game, meaning if you can get to the end game, you can turn this thing on, send rockets to space, and you'll be able to get back white science. That's the only way that you can get hold of white science in this game, is by sending a rocket up to space and claiming the white science it sends back to you. And if we take a look here real quick at our lovely board of stats, you will see that the mutagen effectiveness of white signs is 388.9 times that of red signs. So one white signs jug is let's say 390 times one automation jug. So if you have 1,000 of these, add a 0 to that, and that's how much impact you'll have on the enemy's team. So if we send multiple rockets and we have like 5,000 white signs, or even 10,000 white signs, that one individual throw to the enemy team should destabilize them to the point where you win the game. And the late game is mostly dictated by who can get a rocket first and who can keep building rockets in order to have that magic number that will crumble your enemy's base. Damn, my voice is going to go. I'm going to sound like Gollum at the end of this. So at the moment we're setting up for a lovely opening of the game. I love this. What the hell is this? It's a really interesting isometric building here. And again, another problem that you come into when you sushi smelt. I believe I've got the answer to this. I'm not just saying that to be, hyperbolic. I think I've come up with a relatively decent sorting method for this. As we see another death on the south. Again, the bugs at this level of the game are not that strong, so you can deal with this. But yeah, remember to press F in chat, guys. He was so young. He died so young. Power's gone up, outposts are up. This looks like a very, very strong starter base. Outstanding, King of Gugu, Red Rave, Dr. Claw, Zero Sun. Wow, 5-person outpost. There's almost as many people out here as there are in main base playing. I wonder what the function of that will be. We can see here now in the south as well. We have some labs gone up, and those labs are now currently researching. Let's check in on the research tree. They are powering through oil gathering. They're moving on to logistics 2, and they'll need the automobilism. Fucking hell, I can't speak today. Meanwhile, the south already have oil gathering, oil processing, and gun turrets researched, exclusive to their team, and they're moving towards advanced material processing and physical projectile damage 1, meaning they're going to threat farm, which is, a key concept in this game. Very important that you learn about threat farming, and when that happens and that kicks into gear, I will explain to you why 99 Names is doing this. This is a very specific playstyle. This has a role and a function within the game. You are fully in control of your side of the map, meaning that you can influence and dictate the pace of the game from your area, from your side of the map. At the moment, I can talk to you about threat farming, however, we're not seeing the best version of it. We're seeing the most basic caveman style of threat farming. What 99 Names has is he has a gun, or they have a gun to get them out of trouble with some ammunition. They will have a couple of grenades on them, some light armor, and also some fish. You can find fish in water bodies over here, these little black dots. And if you grab them out of a water body, they are your healing items. So on your health bar, your taskbar here, you'd typically do something like this. You'd have, or I would anyway, ammo for an ammo count, grenades and a fish. I want to know how much ammo I've got left in my backpack. Obviously you have a gun icon down here to the bottom left. I need to know how many grenades I have in my inventory as well as fish. That will give you a good understanding and a read on how long you can stay here by doing this. What 99 Names is doing, in the most simple terms of explanation, is that these bugs on the map are aggressive when their numbers are in the positive. At the beginning of the game, because the bugs are so weak, what 99 Names is managing to achieve, look at this. He can just stand next to the bugs, get attacked by them, and not take much damage with the most basic of armor. What he's doing at the moment is, he's taking the fight to the bugs, and by killing off, at the moment, 1,000 of them, he's neutralizing the threat on his side. So he's gathering them up, as you can see here, in small pods. And by using one grenade, he's making the most efficient play he can. So obviously grenades are a little bit of coal and steel plates. He's gathering up the bugs, but basically like running packs and packs of them into each other. and by throwing one singular grenade at this pack of bugs, which we'll see here in a second. There we go. One grenade kills 20 or 30 bugs, dropping the threat even further into the negative, meaning that this one player on his side of the map, their side of the map, is making sure that the entirety of the map, all the way across here on this northern hemisphere, is neutralized. There is no aggression. The bugs need to spawn 1,000 more bodies into the fight before they get aggressive and begin to run down the map and fight your base. So you have a window at the beginning of a game to manipulate the number as you see fit, and as we can see here, Red Wraith is doing the same thing. He is grouping up the bugs, he's throwing grenades, he's trying to drive the number into the negative. There will come a point in time where the bugs are too strong for this, and so you have a window of opportunity to make this happen. It will not last forever, and we'll see in about an hour's time that this will become too much. These bugs at the moment with brown shells are small and weak. As they evolve, they will become bigger, stronger, faster, and they will hit you harder. So a grenade at the moment is killing them, and that's great. Later on, 10 grenades won't even scratch them. So you don't have long to do this, and you have to get yourself up and running as fast as possible, which I believe is what the South and the North are trying to do. They're intercepting the bugs at the beginning of the game to try and give themselves a small advantage. And that is, I mean, if you boil it down, sorry. If you boil it down, this game is all about either having an advantage or gaining an advantage on the opposite team, right? Scouting is important. You don't have full vision of the enemy. So if you're on the south, you don't see what we see here on the north. You see bits of it, clusters of it. So you need to scout your enemy, intercept what they're doing, and trying to have some counterplay to the machinations that they have at hand at the moment. For instance, if I look at this base here, some of you will look at this and go, well, this is really nice. They have some sushi smelting coming in and, you know, a mixed belt of stuff coming out. And I look at this base and I see flame towers, right? The only reason Cogito and Craven are here is to build engines that will eventually feed their flame production. So this is a base which is building defense, and they will eventually, in main base, if I get my drawing tools out for the north, I will show you what they're planning on doing. They're planning on building large walls around the edge of their base. Oh damn, one sec. Let's do this. That's now on. They want to build large walls around the edge of their base to keep their base safe, right? Just imagine if these big green pillars were just walls, effectively. Behind those walls, you're going to need defenses that are going to be able to fight the bugs over the wall in the form of flame towers, right? So the bugs are going to be coming in, the flame towers are going to be firing back at the bugs, and the walls will be keeping you safe. Do you know what? I need to probably put into my bio MS Paint artist. MS Paint expert. Yeah, so they're going to be fighting your walls rather than your buildings and your processing plant. So yeah, at the moment what I'm seeing from like a base out here on the edge from Cogito and Co is the ability to very quickly wind up into flame tower research, and then beyond that building said flame towers out the back of these two buildings. So this base, as we talked about early on, has a function, and that singular function is to provide their team defensive capabilities later on. So we have somebody being aggressive now and fighting the bugs. When the bugs become too much, we're going to need walls, and behind those walls we're going to need defenses. This is what you'd call traditional biter battles. This isn't the kind of like meta-gamed speed research, you know, let's get to a certain point and spam them with science. We're going to see the full game today. We're going to see everything from the beginning of the game to the middle and beyond into the late game, which is always a good time, by the way. The late game is, for me, some of the most fun because the builds are different. There's always a different build in the late game for how you achieve your rockets and how you fuel your rocket silo and fund it. Okay, the Boggler and Co. So out here we have Whittle, Rune Boggler, and Pipes, or also known as the Pied Piper. These guys are known for being furiously fast. I was gonna say Fast and Furious there, but I don't want to reference that film. They're furiously fast. These guys can produce almost anything from a base like this. So be aware, this could be anything from a rocket base to a laser outpost. we could be looking at an end game build here. We could be looking at something mid game. It could even be a spam base. Yeah, this is dangerous. We need to keep an eye on this. The dark horse of the game could come from this particular area. I mentioned early on that you needed a lot of copper to get an endgame build up and running, and I didn't, when I initially looked at the map, see anything to the west that I was too happy about. Like 1 million here and 700 here is okay. RF Holloway, welcome back, mate. Yeah, dude, no, first stream for me in a long time, dude. I've been very ill. I had surgery recently, so I've been on the scrap heap recovering, and I've got the energy now to stream. So I had my first stream of 2025 last week. We have a tournament on at the moment, and we're into game 3 of said tournament. So I said to the guys, I'm going to be like bed rest basically for the next 4 months as I recover from surgery, and kind of my body adapts to it, to you know. Yeah, don't worry, mate. We're good. I'm loving it. Life's great at the moment. I feel like crap, but I am getting better. I know that the recovery process isn't all sunshines and rainbows. I feel exhausted most of the day, but I'm back to streaming. I'm certainly back to doing some casting and bite battles and stuff, and the rugby's on as well, mate. I mean, how can I complain? How can I complain? In fact, you know what? Life's great, mate. Life's great. I hope everything's going well with you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having a good start to 2025. I know we're obviously at the end of February now, so you could say it's already begun. But this is our first time having a chat, so yeah, I hope everything's going well with you, bud. We're on for a really good game today. We've identified some defensive ideas and outpost ideas out here. There are a couple of bases which I am not too sure. Oh, dude, how good? How good? Wow, Pitter. Calling stack already. Well, I mean, I wasn't going to say that the north was stacked, but I'm glad you brought attention to it. Welcome, Pitter. I would argue, just from my own point of view, in my opinion, that the south are positioned better if they can pull off what I think they're trying to pull off at speed. The north have incredibly strong players, obviously, and I would argue that if you were to add up the MMR, the ELO, north probably take it. But there are some things happening here that are slightly less obvious. For instance, we have Zero Sun Outstanding, King of Gugu and Claw out here with a defensive outpost, as well as Runeboggler, and Runeboggler got his stack. Most of TSP are here. So, sorry. Apologies, I'm going to need to mute my mic a few times whilst I cough my ass off. Give me a sec. Yeah, sorry. I believe that the South have every opportunity to potentially get themselves into a winning position. It really depends on if everybody is... Oh my god, this again? Is this all Morgan does? We talked about this yesterday, and somebody explained to me that the new fluid dynamics mean that you can get away with this, but geez, doesn't this look terrible? In fact, I'm really glad that the map is muting this from me. I know this is an enormous power block and it will help the team, but gee, look at it. It just looks like a monster. Just boilers upon boilers upon boilers upon boilers. So yeah, teams were picked between both captains. So Califerbop had the option to pick all of these players. Proxc had the option to pick all of these players, and they opted to go the other way. In terms of who's in the lead right now, we're 38 minutes in. I would say that it's so hard to pick. I would say probably the North. All things considered, actually, now they have some blue science ticking into their labs already. Damn, Jimmy's so fast, dude. Jimmy's far too fast. Can we slow Jimmy down? Can we take out 1 stick of RAM from his computer? Can we half his RAM? Just to give us a chance. So yeah, North are ahead in terms of research for sure now. And they've managed to take a small advantage. So the North are positioning themselves well to get into the mid game, to then, push on into the end game. I like what they're up to. That's the interesting thing. There is no pollution in this game. Well, obviously in Factorio there is pollution, but in this game mode it's been turned off. With it on, it would... Well, actually no, that's a good point. I don't think it would do anything if it was on in the first place anyway. The game mode naturally means that the bugs come to you anyway. So the way that this game mode works, for anybody that doesn't know, and I haven't drawn on the map for... sorry. I haven't drawn on the map for a couple of minutes. So bear with me, because I'm going to do that right now. Yeah, the water would be green for sure. Naturally, over the course of time, the bugs are going to run down the map and fight your base. If pollution was on, I don't think it would really change how aggressive they are. The reason I say this is because by the time your map becomes so populated that you're polluting up to the north, up to where the bugs are, they're already going to be well evolved and angry at you anyway. So I think it's probably just a mechanic that wouldn't function well in this game mode. Yeah, I haven't really thought about it that much, but I can't imagine it adding too much, like, jeopardy to the game mode. That being said though, worth a thought. Worth a thought. As we now reach 22 on North, 22 on South, 44 players on a Sunday afternoon or evening are playing competitive Factorio. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but like, organising 44 people to do anything, it's kind of a ball ache. So we have 44 nerds all clumped together in one server. A couple of people are spectating over here too. And obviously all of you guys here with me watching. And they are just smashing it. What are all these pipes? Whose big idea was this? Oh, they've built oil in the way of defences, haven't they? Damn. Also, what is this pipe work? Is this new? I've been away for far too long. Some of this looks alien to me. Some of this looks absolutely alien. I'm effectively thinking this is water, right? But if that is in the input for water, then surely... There we go. That's sensible. That's how you build oil. Jesus, what is this? What is this? A sushi pipe, it does. Oh, my eyes. Make it stop. Take it down. Delete this and build this. You know, reject this. Embrace this. This is how you build oil, guys. Come on, I've not been away that long. Jesus. I mean, things have changed and that's fine. This apparently is a thing. I've heard of it. I saw a little bit of it yesterday and it threw me off. I'm going to be honest. I feel like a caveman. I've been away for what feels like decades and the game has moved on and I've not. So I'm sat there going, it's not real wrestling. It's not bloody cricket. And actually it is. It really is. I need to evolve myself and learn the way of sushi pipes. I'm sure we'll see some of it today though. I'm sure. So great little outpost here. Potentially could be, oh, 1 second. Potentially we could be looking at a laser outpost. As and when obviously the research comes in. So do I have it, am I correct in thinking that you can have multiple fluids in a pipe? And then you can split the fluids from the pipe with pumps that are similar to like inserters that you can set, filter inserters, right? So you could have potentially 3 liquids in here and then you just break them down. But surely... Okay, I got you right. So you can pump them fast enough that everything can go through. I mean, I don't want to be that guy here, right? And maybe I am a dinosaur, but why not just have 3 dedicated pipes that could all be full at the same time? Do you know what I mean? Like, I understand, you know, if you're not pumping everything all at once anyway, then why not just have 1 dedicated pipe? It is faster to build, I'll give you that, faster to build, but for instance, this design will have light oil in 1 pipe, propane in the other, heavy oil in another. And for me, I'd rather just have 3 dedicated pipes that just have their own system, you know, have their own... Yeah, it's less work for sure. And you don't have to mess around with all of these different inputs and throughputs. But yeah, I don't know, dude. I just... cheaper and faster to build. Makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. And that is true. Yeah, I mean, we will see roboports and bots today. So, you know, big blueprints will exist. But I do agree, it's fiddly. It is fiddly to get that stuff down. And when you get it wrong, it feels soul destroying. You feel like you've lost 100 IQ points when you get something wrong with fluid. Oh my god. Or at least I do. When I mess up something, and it doesn't happen often, because obviously I'm a legend. But when I do, the rare occasion, the once in a decade mistake that I make whilst playing this game, and obviously you guys know that's a joke, I'm not being serious. For any of you new people out there watching, please just understand I'm completely tongue-in-cheek when I talk about how amazing I am and how legendary I am. The stats are there, I am legendary, and I am the best player that's ever played this game, but I do believe that you should always remain humble when you are this good. Yeah, the times where I mess up fluid dynamics, especially when it comes to oil. I mean, as a new player, by the way, oh, here we go, this is it. So this is the meta now. I hate this. I hate this so much. Oh, this hurts my face. Oh god, and Genie, is this the correct, any of you guys that are like oil experts, is this the right ratio? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 pumps, 6 pumps, 4 pumps, 8, 6, 4? I agree though. I agree, egregiously agree with you on that one. I never make mistakes, but sometimes I find it's helpful to point out to people some ways where things can go wrong. That's how great of a saying. I do that for educational purposes. I'm not making mistakes properly unintentionally, sorry. I'm making mistakes so that we as a group can learn. That's the right way to go about it. Each point is 1 point K through. Got you, yeah. Alarm bells. If I was to log into a game a year ago and I saw this, I would be grenading this. I'd be like, what are you doing? Put down the crack pipe. Stop smoking the drugs. Get sober. Like this. Go home. Go to bed. You've had too much to drink. Go home. This is too much. It's a good way of testing. That's correct. It is a good way of testing out chat. Because they're sometimes asleep. Not my chat, obviously. All of my chat are legends. But, yeah, sometimes they need waking up a little bit. Kicking into gear. Damn. Is this really going to be a purple build? Jimmy. Oh, shit. Jimmy? Jimmy with the early 24 purple jugs to the south? For content. Oh, I hate that saying so much. I'm throwing for content, I'm making mistakes for content. Oh man, I'm really, I'm blessed that the channel is small. I'd hate for it to be big. And I say that not because it's like a dream of mine to be some big YouTuber or something, but can you imagine needing to make stuff all the time? The YouTubers that have like hundreds of thousands or millions of followers, and like I couldn't keep up with that level of production. For me, streaming once or twice a week is enough. Like, making the odd video and putting on YouTube is enough. Like, I'd hate to be a slave to that demand. That need for the audience to be in your life so much. It must be intrusive. It has to be. And surely you must lose yourself. Sorry, a bit of a tangent here, but I thought about this the other day. Like, if I could press a button tomorrow and I could have some massive YouTube empire and Twitch empire and where like 10,000 people sign in to watch you play a game, I'd be miserable, dude. I'd hate that. Genuinely, I would absolutely hate that. And I know that they get paid a ton of money, and that's fine. Like, I'm sure the money's amazing, but wouldn't you lose yourself a little bit in the endeavor? Like, wouldn't you? I'd be destabilized, man. I play games because I enjoy them, right? Imagine if it was your job. Imagine if my income was dictated by how many times I streamed biter battles. I'd end up hating it, dude. I'd be miserable. There'd be no fun in doing this. Whereas like with these tournaments and these kind of oh no, Zero Sun hit a rock. And now they're at the car, and the car is, oh wait, they saved the car. But they could not save themselves. RIP to Zero Sun. F in chat, everybody. We've witnessed a rare mistake But he's obviously throwing for content. Educational throws. Yeah, variety streaming. Yeah, 100%, dude. Like, I saw one of my favourite... I watch a guy on Twitch who's trying to become like a Counter-Strike Twitch streamer. Yeah, at what cost? And the thing is, the car now is here. So you've saved the car, but invariably it's also in enemy territory where you will struggle to retrieve it. So, I mean, they're all... they've managed to push the Evo to 38% as well. The purple spam, dude. Is it me or is purple spam now like the play? Every game I'm seeing now, purple is like the limit. Absolutely the limit. Like, if you can reach it quick, then you somehow have managed to gain a small advantage. And losing a flamer tower this early is kind of big, because you don't have many of them. We can see now here as well, just real quick, the bugs have evolved from small bugs with brown shells to large bugs with pink shells. A flamer tower going down is kind of a big deal. That's a very expensive piece of kit that you don't want to lose. And beyond that, the South haven't coalesced their defensive ideas and created one stable wall. So they do have the ability to make a tank. However, I don't think they've researched it. It would be off the beaten path in terms of research to go down the tank route to begin with. But it's not beyond realms of possibility. As Dog goes south, and there are some bugs in... Oh, damn, dude. 41%, these are a problem. These are a problem. And with a positive threat as well, the South are in for some real trouble here. It's a great play to make from Jimmy. They're not even making purple to research with, right? They're literally just throwing it. Are we in the age of purple? Is this now the meta? Any game you play, regardless, and now they're just skimming science? That's kind of ruthless. That's completely ruthless. Why are they... The only reason you do this is because you smell a win. The only reason you cut your actual labs off from genuinely researching into the technology tree is you think you've won the game. There's no other reason to do that. And you know what? We could be in for a fast ending here. We are on an easier difficulty. But with really healthy player pools, both teams are managing to push quite deep into the game. It's going to be wild for the South. I mean, they need to really stabilize themselves and get some defenses up. And they have neither. They have like a kind of a wall, kind of like right here and then nowhere else. Kind of a wall here that's kind of defended, but you know, by one thing. Now a few flame towers. PP Veil goes down. And our outposters, who should be building more production, who should be pushing their team deeper into the game, are now having to defend, and the bugs will keep coming. This will not be the only wave. Zero Sun has managed to recover their car. They're back on their feet. Oh, Jason goes down. F in chat for Jason, guys. Sorry. We might be doing this often. And Claw goes down. Another F in chat. We'll limit them. We won't press F too often. But, yeah. The heat is on. The bugs are here. And do our builder nerds... No, they don't. The builder nerds don't have grenades. This is nightmare. This is... Alarm bells are ringing at the moment because although it's not GG losing some belts, potentially some refineries, all you have to do is think about the mental struggle it's going to take these players to get the motivation to come back here, to rebuild this, to turn this back on, only for Jimmy to continually send more signs, making the bugs even stronger. Like, losing the refineries here is... This is a big deal, dude. You needed grenades. It's a bugbear of mine, but look at how expensive this mistake is. These bugs will die to multiple grenades. It's a given that you can kill these bugs at this point in the game. It's not easy. It will take you some resources and some endeavor, but you can kill this. You've just lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 refineries. That's really expensive. I would rather lose this entire iron patch. Yeah, and the belts are stopped. All because the people in the base, or at least this player, didn't have anything on them. A shotgun, a machine gun with 22 mags. You're almost kind of like I don't know. I don't want to be rude, but you kind of deserve to get taken out if you're not willing to defend yourself like this. Like, you can build grenades in your back pocket, right? You can build grenades in your back pocket easily. From bad to worse. Here we go. Claude knows what's up. Grenade it. And even if you kill off your oil derricks, right, your pump jacks, it doesn't matter. You kill the bugs. The bugs are the number one priority. Kill them off, and then rebuild all the stuff they've been aggressing into. But yeah, Zero Sun's trying to get a handle on this. At 50% evolution, they're still manageable. Look, a couple of grenades. Imagine if that outposter had 3 grenades on them. They would have killed that wave off. But if you don't have it and you need it, that's when you should have 10, 20 minutes ago. Instead of handcrafting an extra couple of inserters, just build some grenades, guys. Really easy. I'll show you the recipe for any of you that don't know. You need 10 coal and 5 iron plates, and that will give you a grenade. I think it should be imperative. If you're in my team and you're on my side of the, and we are getting aggressed onto like our team are, if we're on the south, it's imperative. Grab grenades, build some bullets, get ready. We are defending. Defending isn't a one-person job or one team's job. It's every single person on the team will have to defend. Every single person needs to intercept waves. Otherwise, they'll end up here. Oh, mines have been turned off. The north, yeah, it appears to me like they've stopped threat farming. I don't imagine they're in for much pain at 8.4%. And they do have some static defenses down too. They need to kind of close off the walls of their base, but they are open to attacks. If the south were to all of a sudden start throwing science like the north have to the south, the north are vulnerable here. But that being said, I think they've just back-footed their opponents. The boss biters will come soon, around the large side. So the moment they turn blue, we can start seeing bosses. So here we have some blue bugs. Over time, 1 or 2 bosses will pop up. And the moment we hit behemoths, which is at 90% evolution, bosses will be all over the place. So yeah, we're moving into that territory. It's not game over for the south at all. Like, the south are well within the realms of possibility for them to be able to deal with this. But I'm going to be clear, boys and girls, people watching this back. This player has 1 individual grenade on them. That is not enough. If you're going to run here, if you're going to make a play to come all the way out here, you need to do more than that. There's a player here just stood by. Is anybody going to come and deal with this? It's just RIP. And again, the game has been on for an hour now. People start to switch off. The best players don't, but this is something that you need to handle. They are not far away from your silo. They are easily killable. This is not game if you can deal with this. Now, you need your gun. So let's see if this guy has a gun. Apparently he doesn't have a pair of eyes because they're right underneath him. There we go. Well done, mate. You're going to melee them. That works. It's not going to work here. Oh, damn, dude. Okay, we have a couple of new players, it looks like, in the server. He's going to recover a body with 1 grenade on. You're asking some very pertinent questions there, the dough. And he came he came all the way past the bugs that were a problem in the base. He ran to his body that had 1 grenade on it and died. And again, when we look at efficiencies, I think we can all agree right now that, and we're not throwing shade on this player, by the way. I'm not pointing this out to ridicule this individual, but take this as a case study, right? You can easily come into your main base here, grab some plates off of a line, build some grenades, build your gun, and come back and fight the bugs, running headfirst back into them with no resources. I mean, what is the definition of insanity, right? Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. I feel like we have a case study here in that, and we'll follow our what's his name? Let's follow this legend for a couple of seconds. Let's see if we can see an adaptation in. Okay, you're running them into the back of your own defenses. Smart. He has gained some IQ. Will he go back to his body with relatively nothing on it to die again? We have the time to follow on. Okay, well, we found the bugs. He's bringing them back. He's kiting them back. This is smart. Kiting bugs towards your defenses is a good idea. Here we go. This is good. Okay, he improved. Selu, initially, mate, I didn't think much of you. I'm still worried you're about to do the same thing again. Yeah, it's happening. It's still happening. You have a gun. You get given a pistol when you spawn. You can shoot these things if you want. And problem solved. Oh, mate, this hurts my face. Sorry, we're coming off of that. This isn't about one person because there's a lot more going on in the map. That is a problem here. Here we have a large spitter wave of mediums and bigs in the middle of production. The outpost is getting trashed. This is effectively a foregone conclusion now, and as we can see, the bugs are at a point now where they can just chew through a base, and you hate to see it, but oh my is correct. Oh my biters is absolutely correct. These guys are now slightly beyond the pale of killing with grenades. You can do it with poison capsules, obviously. I believe the North they've slipped in an uppercut. Both teams have been jabbing away at each other in a boxing sense. They've been jabbing away, they've thrown a couple of punches, and the North have just thrown an uppercut that has landed. These bugs are killable, for sure, but a bit of a problem. As you can see now, they're strong enough to start uprooting some of the areas of the base that you'd want to keep alive. And although some of the outposts are working incredibly well, and we do have some bots up, we do have a lot of research coming into the labs, the South are positioned in terms of production quite well. South have attempted a punch, I guess. Let's take a look. No, they haven't. They haven't at all. Do we have any purple building? Is anybody attempting to throw a punch? Okay, we have some flamer turrets up here. That's kind of good for the team. We have, the semblance of a defense. We have a one thick wall. For any of you guys watching, if you're playing on easy or easier modes, then you need a wall up by about 1.5 hours. About 1 hour and 30-minute mark, you need to have that wall up and running. I think the Doe would be a fantastic Bite Battles player, and I'm not just saying that because you're currently watching. I have seen the stream, I've seen the speed runs. Players of that caliber, well, actually, let's break it down in two different areas. Players of that caliber will be frustrated because you have to play in a team. So obviously speedrunners play on their own and they are incredibly fast and they're incredibly accurate at what they do. I can imagine that a speedrunner playing in a team would be frustrated because you kind of have to go at the pace of the slowest person in the team. And compared to the speed that they are, the slowest person must be crawling speed. Zero Sun is smashing it, by the way. We're going to follow him a little bit because this is threat farming. Yeah, this is pod racing. So I can imagine that they have a lot to bring to the table. It's very similar to Team McIntyre, right? I think Derek would be an amazing Bite Battles player. I think he'd get frustrated playing the game mode though, mostly because you're not able to have it in the same parameters as your speedrunning settings or setup is. That being said, even if they were to have an average game, they would still play incredibly well. But this is, if you need to threat farm at 70%, as we can see some bosses now lurking to the south of Zero Sun's car, have a vehicle of some sort to move around the map. You need to use your poison capsules, which you can see here. You need to get some coal, steel plates, and electronic circuits. With that, you can craft some poison capsules. Slow capsules are the same recipe. Oh, dude, holy crap. The Doe versus Team McIntyre? Mate. We had, it was a couple of 1v1 tournaments ago. We had, like, Raslington. We had Anti-Elites. Timinator. I'm missing some names now here. But we had some really fast people, and it was just such a pleasure to watch. They do. Yes, they do. You can stack poison capsules on top of each other, meaning that these big bugs are more than killable. More than killable. And also, it makes what happened earlier out here that much more tragic. Because you lost all of this, right? And at the time you needed grenades, and you didn't have them. But you also had access to poison capsules, and everything that you have... Sorry. My voice is a bit croaky, by the way, so apologies if you hear me coughing a little bit. Yeah, the 1v1 tournaments were amazing. And I think that there is appetite to get it going again. It just requires organising. And very similar to like this tournament now, there's always an appetite to have competitive levels of this game on. It was Raslington versus Zasper, and Raz just killed it. Absolutely killed it. It was a best of 3, and I think it went 1-1. And then Raslington on the last game just, I don't know, it went Super Saiyan. I don't know how, like everything he was doing was just spot on. The right timing, he was sending at the right time as well. It was all really, I did a post-game interview with him and Pitta. We talked to him after his winning game, which would seem a bit awkward because you've never met me before and talked to me before. So obviously, you've just won a tournament, some random guy wants to have a chat. I can imagine it's not the easiest thing to do. But when we spoke to him, he had a very particular timing that he wanted to hit, and he hit all of them. And sometimes you just get the perfect run. You know, genuinely, sometimes just everything, just the stars align, and you just have the run that wins you the tournament. And we captured that. But there's always an appetite for stuff like that in this community. It's just a matter of organising. Because we're all volunteers here, by the way. You know, nobody's getting paid to be here. So this is all very much based off of who can volunteer their time and how fast can we get that stuff organised. When's everybody free, etc. But we do have a Discord, for any of you that don't know. And let me send you that Discord name now. I might have... Sorry, somebody's just messaged me in Discord. If you check out this link... Oh, damn. 1 second. Let me get the link for you. For any of you guys that are interested in joining us in the Biter Battle server, we have a couple of different tabs in the Discord. I'll stick this in chat right now. I'm sure all of you already know about this, but for any of you that don't, this is our Discord channel. Page. In here there are learning channels, there are Hall of Fames for, you know, bad builds and good builds. There's a lot of discussion about the game itself, and you'll find like a tab on the Masters tournament as well. From there you'll be able to see when we host normal games, special games, captains games, all the different events, etc. They're definitely worth checking out. It can be, when we've got tournaments on like this, very busy, but if you ask questions, if you engage with the guys, then you'll see yourself, like, it's a really active community that likes to try and just play the game. You know, we're just enjoyers of this game. The South are now experiencing 77.8% bugs, and even with poison capsules, they will start to come under fire. Zero Sun is doing one hell of a job, by the way, of threat farming these enormous bugs. And as I said before, like, if you want to pick a threat farmer, this is your guy for now. Yeah, there's no rise in evolution, however the bugs are aggressive on the north, so we will see, I mean, look at the size of this wall, this is far too big. The bugs will eventually crash into the defenses of the north, but at 10% evolution, like, these guys are still killable with a pistol, so I'm not worried too much by the north's position at this current stage. Yeah, he needs to be careful. Yeah, one of these rocks, any one of these boulders is GG for Zero Sun. And for him to be able to, like, threat farm in this environment and keep himself alive, like, the key here is to stay alive for him. If you stop, that's fine, to repair your car or to heal yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you go down, that just means the bugs are coming at your base. And as you can see here now, the wall is one thick in certain areas. In some areas, it's just non-existent. And as we all know, and as some of you have seen before in my streams, let me just get my drawing tools out real quick. As many of you know, the bugs will aggress down onto your base from the south to the north, and they will push towards the objective, which is your rocket silo, in the hope that they come and kill it off. What we'll also see is patterns where the bugs will do stuff like this, and move around the map and hit you from the side. And these are game-ending, side-sweeping bug patterns that we see. Sorry, I'm trying to get my words out. We see the bugs come in this orientation multiple times in a game, and so if you don't have sides to your base, as either team doesn't, by the way, We have like one area that's slightly segmented off for the south, and the west is completely open. The north have just decided, yeah, we don't need sides to the base because we're just going to have one big wall. This is dangerous. If the north somehow manage to slip up and not win this game, and they're 10% away from behemoth bugs, so they're close to winning, if the south manage to stabilize, the north are in for a rude, painful surprise. If, again, we're talking about hypotheticals here. At the moment, the current situation is the south are struggling. They're struggling. Power looks okay for now. Production is continuing. Labs have, we're in the mid-game here. We have all 4 sciences in some of the labs, so mid-game is on. Let's take a look at research real quick. The south have got lots of research that the north haven't gone for, so they've gone for robots. Speed. I like it, but it's a little bit early for that, isn't it? Interesting, okay. I mean, Zero Sun is single-handedly stopping. All of these bugs here on the screen now would be divvied up into packs, and they would be coming down the map at you. So they're currently not, and they're fighting Zero Sun. What normally would happen here is Zero Sun would be, dead. And these guys would be coming into your walls, effectively killing off your base. So there's a massive effort here going in for one person to threat farm this level as well. This is really good stuff. The outposts are beginning to really ramp up. Obviously bots make your life 1,000 times easier. It takes a while to get to them. Yeah, they do, dude. And I don't see a way out. Like, I hate to be that guy. I do not see a way out for the south. The walls, that you need to increase these walls by like 5 tiles. They need to be at least 5 thick. You need flame towers all over the map, right? Having them here is great. Have a look at this, right? This is how defense should work. Bearing in mind, obviously, the walls are not thick enough, which means that the bugs are able to spit at the towers, meaning the towers will eventually die. But this is how it should go. The bugs hit the wall, they can't hit you, so they have to hit the wall, and then in doing so, they die within the flame and also the poison that you sit on them. Again, we talked earlier on about the wall being too thin. Here we see an example of that. And this boss and the next wave behind it are making their way through, and Red Rave's car is taking some damage. You hate to see it. And what's changing here? Like, what's the adaptation? Is anybody prioritizing walls? Let's try and look at stone production real quick. Does anybody have any level of wall production? We do. Okay. Okay, that's 1. Do we have any other wall production in main? So we have stone coming in. Not a lot. Oh, damn, dude. As a new player, by the way, anybody that's watching that's new to the game, that's thinking like, I want to play this, but I want to have an impact on my team, but I don't know what all this is all about. Like, what is this? I don't like this. This is scary to me. I don't understand all these ratios and what are these green things and why do they have them in boxes, and no, I don't like this. I don't want to do this, but I want to help my team. How can I impact my team? How can I give them an advantage? I would say as a new player, 100%, the best thing you can do is find a stone patch, build a small smelter like this. Doesn't need to be within a block of smelters, but literally you can just build a small smelter, put some coal down it, put some rocks down one side, churn out bricks on the other, and you just need one building making some walls. And power for the south is a problem. How is it a problem? You cannot tell me that... No, come on. Does one pump really go this far? How? You used to have like drop off. That's wild, mate. So it's not infinite though, right? There's a limit. There's a number here. 200. What the fuck? Look how they massacred my boy. Oh damn. I see. Well, yeah, because initially I was looking at this thinking like, how the hell are they doing this with one pump per side? Right? Because like normally for anything in the old days, back in the Stone Age when I played, yeah, you'd need like multiple pumps for this to make it work. But whatever the South need to do, they need to get their power up and running. Like, it's currently yellow, and that's not good for anybody. Yeah, that's not good for anyone. Holy. Are they getting attacked? Yes, but are they managing to stabilize? This is... If it wasn't for Red Wraith and Zero Sun right now, the South would be dead. And that is clear as day. My question is, where is the counterplay from the South? What are they doing to either bring the fight back? Actually, that's a really good point. Do you know, I didn't think about it, Red Wraith. Sorry, not Red Wraith, what am I talking about? Holloway. I didn't even think about that. But yeah, speedrunners used to need large water bodies in order to kind of have enough room for those pumps. So that must change. I mean, does it change the speed? Oh, damn. That's a live send. In all caps, send from Jimmy to his team. The purple is building. And 91% has been reached. This is a terminal number for any side, because now the bugs will spawn green shelled bugs. So gone are the days of these medium bugs. They will eventually die out, and packs of bugs will now be pejoratively blue and green shelled. Behemoth bugs are really, really hard to kill, and it doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning of seeing the hardest version of the bugs evolve onto the battlefield. As we can see here now, we have a crawler and a spitter, a biter and a spitter, sorry. These guys will take some real resources to take out. Oh yeah, dude, this, I feel bad, but like, the South have everything they need. They're 20 players, they're spread out over multiple bases. They have everything you could want to have the same game the North have. The North have just managed to beat them to the punch. And I just don't know where the counterplay is. Like, were the South always going for rockets? And that's why we don't see any purple spam. I don't see anything related to purple. There's a base out here. It's just making flame turrets. That's great. I have deja vu as well, dude. I've seen this game before. This happened yesterday. Death by 1,000 cuts. And it's such a shame because everything the South are doing is correct. They're not doing anything wrong, but they just haven't sent. And we're at 1 hour and 15 minutes, 1 hour and 60 minutes into the game, and one side is enjoying Behemoth bosses, and the other team are at 11%. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. This doesn't, like, I need to talk to somebody afterwards, but did they choose not to throw any punches, or did they just get outplayed? Like, I am struggling to see it, mate. I don't think it exists. They don't have a purple build. The South have gotten themselves up to the mid game and nowhere further. Oh, 100% though, 100%. You know, they needed to have thrown a punch by now. This is almost like a little too late, you know. Even if you start fighting back, the other boxer has got multiple rounds on you, right? And they've landed some serious blows. Like, this is no joke. An hour and 17 minutes into a game and you're dealing with behemoths. You can kill them. They are killable, by the way. This isn't like the unstoppable force. But look at how much resource and time it's taking just to gather them up. Just so then you can start to kill them. By now, Zero Sun, if it was mediums and smalls, would have killed hundreds of them off. At the moment, we're seeing the large bugs die out, but the behemoths have barely been touched. And all the while, more waves will build up and move towards your base, right? More waves will come in. I think this might be a tipping point. I was expecting a 2-hour game. I did not expect one team to get caught out like this. But the South have been absolutely caught out. And they have, like, I mean, there's enough stone around to make walls, so that's not an issue. It's not as if we have, you know, lack of an abundance of a resource. Like, we have what we need. I think potentially maybe we have lots of small efforts. So how many bases do we have? We have small base here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a fifth over here. 5, right? Meanwhile, in the north, we have 1, 2, but that's power. I don't really count that as a base, if I'm being entirely honest. Let's not count this, because this is literally just a power farm. So there is 1. Is this main, or is this an outpost? 2, 3, 4, but 3 main bases. Red Wraith went down, didn't he? And the bugs are in, and they're tearing up, and their bosses, and their behemoth bosses. Oh god, I hate to see it. This sucks. What's happening here for the uninitiated? For those of you who don't know, we may have spent more time in the pick phase than we did watching the game. Number 1, and number 2, it's kind of game. It would take a mammoth defensive effort for the South to stabilize this. The way that you stop this from happening is that you build your defenses up much more aggressively early on. Yeah, I'm in danger. Definitely the Ralph Wiggum meme checks here. There's not enough stuff to put in the way of them to stabilize. I think they're staring down the barrel of a defeat here, the South. A rare sudden defeat, by the way. As we always know, if you play on the South side, you just win. It would take a behemoth. I see what you did there. Caught me out for a second. It would take a behemoth effort. And my take is like, where is this counterplay here for the South? What have they managed to build up for their own, play? Is it going to be yellow? It could be yellow, but they don't get there. Like, they don't get there in time. And they're just sending everything they have now. It's like 50, 60 science at a time. The North are now, South are nearly at 100% bugs. The South are at 12. It just doesn't track with me how you can play a game for over an hour and not throw a punch. Somebody left like a line of plates. What the fuck is this? Oh damn. No, South are so far behind. It's like they'd need another hour before they got even close to a rocket. They've aimed for a part of the game that they will not land on. It's game. And we'll watch it happen, in slow time, but they've aimed for a point that they will reach without protecting themselves to get to that point. So it's all well and good saying, we're going to launch rockets. Yeah, and LDS is great. And again, if you can fuel and fund a load of LDS, then you're onto a strong ending to the game. But if you don't have a base and you don't have a base really at this point to defend, the moment these guys smash into power, you're done. You're so done. And here from the east, from the southeast to the south, even to the west, the outpost is just done. Game 3. I don't want to use the word underwhelming, because that takes away from what the North have managed to achieve. They've really raced, and I haven't really looked at the North that much, mostly because the South have been in a lot of trouble, but they got to purple very quick, and that was it. But they did build red belts, and this is a war crime. For any of you that have never seen this before, you don't build red belts in this game mode. This invalidates the North's win. The South have officially now won. GG South, well played. Good luck next. Difficult one to break down. It'll be interesting to see where each team slipped up, but no, in fact, it's not. It's about this simple. They were neck and neck, building green and red. The South were first to build military science, and then there is a huge gap between building military science and blue science. Meanwhile, the North got their military and their blue up at the same time. And because of that, they then got military up less than 10 minutes later. And look at the gap. That's actually really telling signs. So the gap between military and purple is what, 8 minutes. The gap between military and purple for the south, it's still going on. It's an hour. That's the story of the game here, right? An 8-minute window between military blue and purple. Ah, sorry, I will catch this. My bad. Sorry, I'm just reading the tea leaves here a little bit. And the gap between military and purple for the south is still ongoing. The clock is still running on that. How can you beat an 8-minute jump in science? You just got to be quick, right? Damn. And they're going to chew through this. What an unfortunate ending to what would have been, or hoped to have been, an amazing game. But GG's either way. The tournament progresses. The North have taken it. The South have tripped up a little bit there. And no purple was produced. The North managed to produce 6,300 purple to 0 on the South. That's wild. That is wild. People calling for purple to be nerfed. Oh man, that sucks. I wanted to have a longer stream than this. But, you know, you don't really get to pick and choose. The games are the games. You're accruing more noodles, Blissy. Let me do my prediction real quick. And then we'll sign off. And if there's somebody that you like on Twitch that you want me to raid, feel free to put their channel in the description. And we'll raid them. And the reason I do that isn't so that we become more popular. It's so that we can say hello to somebody and make their day. I think that's quite a nice thing to do. You know, so if you've got somebody who doesn't have a lot of viewers or that you think would appreciate us popping in saying hello, let me know. All right, the North won it. Somebody just won a lot of pot noodles. Troopin's on the Biter Battle server. That's a good point. Let me have a look at who's around. I want to spread the love. We did raid Troopin yesterday, so I don't want to raid the same person over and over again. It looks a bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Desperate. I know who we can raid. We're going to raid somebody called Moist Noodle. This man is a menace. He plays Star Citizen. He's a PvP nightmare person. And I've played a lot of Star Citizen with him. I think he'd welcome the raid as well. I think it's been a while since I've chatted to him. So let's raid him real quick. We'll change it every time. For any of you guys that aren't aware, this stuff will go up onto YouTube. And there are more tournament games next week. So we have more stuff to go through. Today's game has been slightly underwhelming. However, there will be more stuff that we can get our teeth stuck into down the line as well. So thank you for joining me. I really appreciate your time. I hope that you're enjoying the streams. They are going to be more regular now. Bazola, thank you for the follow. I've missed that. And yeah, I've got to thank them for saving my voice. Yeah, I'm back. I'm healthy again. Life is good. And so we'll just do more, do more and more. I hope you guys have a really good start to your week. I hope you have a really good rest of your weekend. You'll see me streaming during the week. Feel free to not tune in. You don't have to come and see me. But if you do see me online, say hello. I would appreciate that. I'm going to be streaming some Factorio as well, some Biter Battles and some DLC. And I will catch you at the next game. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great weekend. And a good start to week again, obviously. Bye.
Fucking missiles, dude. And the NPCs have an infinite amount.